Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back my good friend Terry Bolo, who you may remember from such movies as Carrie and Pee-wee's Big Adventure. You know, I had her on the show last spring. Now I'm having her back on again. We're going to have just a flowing conversation about things that are on each other's minds and stuff. And it's going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. She's such a sweet lady. I want to say rest in peace, Charlotte Ray. You may remember her as Mrs. Garrett on The Facts of Life. Or if you're heavy into horror like I am, a lot of you kids in my generation may remember this little TV movie that used to play on HBO every Halloween called The Worst Witch. She played the principal and the principal's evil twin sister in that, and she was so great in it and stuff. If you didn't watch The Worst Witch every Halloween on HBO when you were a kid, you're not cool. Because The Worst Witch, it played every Halloween from 1986 to 2000-ish. Used to watch it every Halloween. It was on all month long in October. And it's such a classic. So, So, I'll be calling Terry Bolo in just a moment.
Good morning.
Hey, Terry. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing? I'm on my second cup of coffee.
Well, at least it's not a cocktail like last time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So, how you doing?
Oh, yeah. Good timing. I'm good. Yeah, I work on the weekend, so this is like my Saturday.
Oh, nice.
For most people, yeah. It's my day off.
Yeah, I'm just trying to decide what color I'm going to paint my toenails for this weekend.
Mine are the colors called Canyon Country. It's a nice kind of orangish amber color.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you calling from?
I'm still here in Redding, California.
Redding. Oh, okay. Oh, my God. You guys had all those fires up there.
Oh, God. It was a nightmare. I had to spend the weekend in my godparents' house, and that was a nightmare in and of itself. But, yeah, I'm just so lucky it didn't come our way.
Oh, God. I know. Well, glad you're all safe.
Yeah, it was just a nightmare.
So you just did another podcast before me?
I was supposed to. It got rescheduled. Hopefully it'll happen this week, but I was supposed to, yeah.
Uh-huh. Who's that?
Her name is Kate Willett. She's a very funny stand-up comedian from the Bay Area that I've known for a little bit. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's great. So did you also talk to, let's see, Bridget?
I was supposed to.
Sienna?
I was supposed.
The Brownling Bridget?
Yeah, I'm supposed to talk to Bridget soon. She's been so busy.
Oh, she's great. She's a lot of fun. She's a real sweet girl.
Yeah, she liked our previous interview, she told me.
Yeah. I just saw her not too long ago. We went and saw one of the new Groundling shows.
Mm-hmm.
They always invite the alumni.
Yeah.
And then they introduce us to the audience. These are the people that started this theater.
Wow.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago. Over 40 years. God, I'm a dinosaur.
Oh, don't say that about yourself.
But, no, it's amazing. I can't believe the mileage I've gotten out of some of the jobs I've done, Carrie and Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and those are such cult classics, that
Yeah.
several generations have seen those movies.
Yeah, I mean, they're immortal classics, and that's a lot to be proud of.
Thanks. Yeah, I am. You don't realize it at the time, but because of the internet and how more and more people can communicate and be in touch with each other, I realize that so many people have seen those movies and recognize me or remember me, just the little parts that I did, and it's like, oh my God.
Have you seen anything good lately?
I haven't been to a movie theater in years. I don't know. I feel like they're not making movies for me.
Yeah.
But I do want to see, everybody's talking about the Mr. Rogers movie.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. And then there's another a documentary. I really love documentaries that came out about Scotty Bowers. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've heard the name. Who is he?
He wrote a book called Full Service about his early days in Hollywood. Well, actually, his whole life. He's in his 90s now, I think. And how he was the go-to guy for the Hollywood glitterati, when they wanted to hook up with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, their contact. And so he kind of exposes, it's an expose on the sex lives of all these old Hollywood people. They're all dead now, so they can't defend themselves, but I believe him. Anyway, that's supposed to be a really good documentary, too.
Oh, wow. I think I'll check that out. Anything about sex, I'm interested in.
Well, you should, yes, you see that or get his book. It's pretty fascinating, actually.
Wow.
The sordid lives of all the stars, and how the studio system tried so hard to keep it all under wraps,
Yeah. Oh my God, I was thinking about that the other day, about how the old Hollywood system was, and I don't know, this is just a theory of mine, but back in the day, no matter if you were a leading actor or a character actor or supporting actor, if they thought that you had talent, or they thought that you were bankable and everything, you could get work. But then after the studio system just died down by the late 60s or early 70s, I don't know, I think it became a lot more harder to be an actor and get work.
Yeah, it's true. I think that there was a good and bad about the studio system, but yeah, they invested in you and with lessons and but then you had to go by their rules and even date the people they wanted you to date. I mean, you really did kind of control your life, and if you got an offer for something but they could keep you from doing a role, wouldn't let you out of your contract, but sometimes they would make deals with the studio and they would trade you for other people. And I forget who it was, some of the first people who broke out of that studio system. But yeah, that all really changed, around the late 60s. And, Quentin Tarantino is making a movie right now kind of about those days. And the backdrop is 1969 and the Manson family murders.
Yep.
And, so that's all being filmed right now all around town. That's been really fun seeing all the filming going on. And, but yeah, it's kind of, that's what the theme of it is about, is Hollywood changing. And let's see, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt play an aging Western star and his stuntman who are kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Me too. Anything that Quentin Tarantino does, I just jump with joy. I'm so excited that every time he makes a new movie.
I really, really like him and what he does, although sometimes they go on a bit long.
Oh, I love it.
And over-the-top violence, which to me was used for comic effect in Kill Bill. I don't know. Sometimes, he goes a little overboard, but I really do love his writing, especially his writing and directing, and what he's done for Hollywood. You know, he bought an old art house movie theater here, and he runs movies, and he shows his own prints, film prints, in this movie theater. Yeah. So he's quite a cinephile, a film aficionado, restorer, preserver, of Hollywood and movies. He's a real movie geek.
Yeah. Do you know him?
No, I don't. I've seen him in person a couple of times. Oh, and actually, I did talk to him briefly. But when I saw him, but no, I don't really know him.
Wow.
I just think he's a really interesting person.
Yeah, I do too. And I could just relate to things he talks about because I've just been a movie buff the same way my whole life too. I know just the most obscure shit, you know.
And can quote lines from all these movies, you know. It's like I love quoting, movie quoting lines from movies. But I do The Godfather a lot, and and I love Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I love to quote from that. Just every once in a while, this obscure, movie quote will come into my head, that's apropos to the situation. It's like, oh God, I'm such a movie geek.
Yeah.
But yeah, lately, I don't know. I think a lot of the movies, they're made for younger audiences, young teenage boys. And then I read something that made sense. It's like a lot of the movies, because they're all visual and with effects and everything. It's because they're catering to the world market.
Yeah.
So they're easy, to understand, if you don't speak English, and so it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. That makes sense. But I miss all those Merchant Ivory films. I like all those costume dramas.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time there was one.
Yeah, I know. It's and it just seems like all the really good writing is now going to television. These episodic, cable television series. Did you watch the assassination of Gianni Versace?
No, I didn't even know that was out.
Oh my God! Okay, did you see the OJ thing that was done with actors? All actors, the series.
No.
Oh my God. It was so good. I mean, you think you know the whole story and everything. It's like all this behind the scenes stuff. The writing was fantastic. All the actors were excellent. It's the FX American Crime Story. And the first season was the OJ trial.
Mm-hmm.
And the second season was the assassination of Gianni Versace. And the guy who plays the killer, Cunanan, Darren Criss, he was on Glee, the TV show Glee.
Yeah.
And I saw him interviewed, and he waited 4 years for this part. He said the writers said, we want you to do this, and there was one thing after another that it kept getting postponed, and finally, he's so incredible. He's one of the most amazing actors I've ever seen. I put him up there with anybody. It's just an incredible show. I've watched it twice already. I'm ready to watch it a third time because it's so good, and the actors are incredible. But also because the way it's structured, it goes back in time, so it's a little confusing. So it shows him stalking Versace in Florida and killing him. And then it says, and then before that, 6 months before that, and 6 months before that, and it keeps going back in time. So I got a little confused, and then you have to, put it together again. But I can see why they did it, but it made it, I think, a little difficult to follow, because then you have to keep remembering, oh yeah, this was before that. Oh yeah, this was before that. So anyway, but it's definitely worth a look.
Wow. I've seen a couple documentaries of the guy who shot Versace, and he reminds me, and he reminds me of every guy that I've ever met in a bar who's a bullshit artist. A guy who tries to make it look like he's like super successful and rich, and like his lies are never consistent and everything. Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, and his story is really amazing. And the way he used and manipulated people and preyed on people and pretended that he was rich and it's really creepy.
Yeah.
But so a lot of the good writing is in these, and then Feud. Did you see that one? Feud with about Betty Davis and Joan Crawford.
No, but I heard it was good though.
Oh, you've got to. Where have you been? What have you been doing? I watched that one twice. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's excellent. With Jessica Lange.
Oh.
Is transcendent. And
love Jessica Lange.
She's playing Betty Davis. She's good. I can see that she didn't want to go overboard and do a Charles Pierce, Betty Davis thing. But she downplays it, and sometimes I feel like she sort of loses it a little bit, and it's like, and she's Susan. But Jessica Lange is just beyond playing Joan Crawford, and she's really heartbreaking.
Oh, I love Jessica Lange. I watched Frances the other night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that movie. I've had it for years.
My friend's sister was one of the producers on that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if her name was LaManna, that was her, Marie LaManna, but, or if she had another married name, but that, all those years ago, I remember my friend telling me that her sister was, producing it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and I love Sam Shepard. Oh my God, I loved him so much.
Yeah. Mel Brooks financed the movie, too.
Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
Which one?
He financed Frances.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, she wasn't that famous then. I think that was her first really big, her big debut, of course, was King Kong, but I think this was, the first movie where she was the star of the movie.
Well, she did the Postman Always Rings Twice remake with Jack Nicholson in '81, the year before.
I didn't see that. I need to see that. Yeah, because I just love her, and I haven't. I know people are raving about her in American Horror Story, but I'm not really a horror film person. I can't. I can't watch stuff like that. But I hear she's just incredible.
And yet,
I was in Carrie.
Yeah, yet you were in Carrie. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I was reading this article that Steven Spielberg did where he said that he sees all this great filmmaking turning to television now, and he actually said that when he did Lincoln in 2012, which I loved, I thought it was a great movie. He said that movie was almost an HBO movie.
Oh,
So he started seeing the signs of it going in that direction, because it was almost an HBO movie and stuff, and like Disney almost turned it down and stuff. He says that was when he saw the beginning of the decline of movies.
Well, this is interesting and kind of ironic, actually, because for him to be commenting on it, because he's part of the reason that it all changed. With the big blockbusters and the effects and everything, with Jaws and then and that whole group of filmmakers that came up at that time, and Star Wars, with George Lucas and all, because movies became spectacles instead of stories.
Yep.
And so now all the storytelling, is going to television, all the good writing. And so, that's kind of ironic, don't you think?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, too, for about 20 years, there would be maybe 2 or 3 blockbusters a year that came out that would make, over $200 million. And then by 2000, there would be about 10 to 20 of them a year until, this decline of good, movie stories. It's ironic, too, I think.
Yeah. And did you ever see Behind the Candelabra.
Yep, I loved it.
Liberace.
Yep.
No, he couldn't. Soderbergh couldn't get a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
It's too gay. And so HBO took it. Yay, HBO. It was fantastic. That's another one that I've watched like 3 or 4 times. But I had a TiVo, and then I had to get then I switched my provider, and then I lost it. I might have to buy a copy of it. It's one of those that I love watching over and over again, like The Godfather and Casino, and The Sideways and The Big Lebowski. There's a few movies that you just always love to watch. And actually, Behind the Candelabra is one of them for me. It's just so good. They're both so good. But yeah, that had to go to HBO because he couldn't get a theatrical release for it.
Wow.
Because everybody's just so, they're so focused on box office that everything's become formulaic and, that's too gay or that doesn't have any effects or, everything has to be a spectacle or an experience instead of just telling a story, like we're talking about. And those good stories, they're getting the viewership on television. They're getting the awards. And thank God for HBO,
mm-hmm.
and FX, and, because then the talent has also the time to when something is serialized, episodic, you can expand on the story. And, it's like when Theo first came out, I'm thinking, well, 8 episodes? What the heck?
Yeah.
What are they going to cover? And it was fascinating. I watched each one twice in a row.
Oh.
And of course, I love costumes and sets and anything period because I love looking at the background and the wardrobe, and I used to work in wardrobe too, and I was used to sew. So I've always been really into clothes. And and a Boardwalk Empire. It's like that was incredible. And there's just been so much, good writing on TV, on cable, of course.
Yeah.
But regular broadcast television is still pretty much the pits.
Yeah, I
don't know, but there's things people say, oh, you got to see this, you got to see that. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I just hope movies can be saved.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be another new wave or whatever of filmmakers that are telling good stories again. There's a lot of kids in film school and working on all their little projects and everything. But I think the blockbuster and the big special effects movies and everything, those will always be with us because, like I said, they play all around the world, all over the world. But we're missing the storytelling, and fewer movies are being released as well. I think Spielberg also did mention that not as many movies are being released, and I haven't been in a movie theater in quite a few years.
Yeah, I only go maybe 3 times a year. I used to go a lot more than that when I was younger, but I don't know. I just can't get into a lot of movies now. It has to be very interesting, and it has to have somebody I really, really like in it. Back in June, I saw The Book Club.
I heard that wasn't so great.
I actually liked it. I thought it was funny.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, I love all the actresses, of course.
Yeah.
They're all fabulous. And was it Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda?
And Candice Bergen and Mary Steenburgen.
Candice Bergen and who else? Oh, Mary Steenburgen,
yeah. And and it also had Richard Dreyfuss and what's his name? Andy Garcia. Oh God, what's his name? Craig T. Nelson, Ed Begley Jr. Yeah.
Oh wow. Ed Begley, God, I've known him for years and years. I used to see him around town all the time. And one time we were out and with some friends, and he invited us over to his apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing with his dad's Academy Award, doing acceptance speeches in front of the mirror.
Oh my God!
With his dad's Academy Award. Oh my God! I've stories about a few of those people. Craig T. Nelson was in the Gary Austin workshop before it became the Groundlings.
Yep.
So in a way, it's like he was a pre-Groundling.
Oh.
So, and let's see. Oh, Candace Bergen. I worked on the pilot, and I've always loved her. Right. So I worked on the pilot of Murphy Brown, and I was really excited to be working on this. And they had me be the hairdresser for her new show.
Mm-hmm.
So before her new show was on the air, in a scene, I'm like, fixing her hair, finishing touches on her hair.
Yeah.
And at one point, we were doing a lot of takes, and at one point, the AD came over and told me, "Don't really brush her hair." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm faking it, and we did so many takes. Oh my God, I don't know what was wrong. Oh, I think one of the cameras broke, so instead of, shooting with 3 or 4 cameras at once, we had to move the camera and, shoot it almost, like a single camera, and so it took forever so that they'd have all the different angles, So it took forever. So after it's all over and, we're wrapped and they're starting to set up for the wrap party, she was just standing there by the food table by herself, and, just standing there. And, everybody's like putting camera equipment away and setting up the food and everything. So I walked over to her and I said, I wanted to wish you good luck with your show. And I made some little joke about, me brushing her hair so much or something like that. And she just looked at me. She had this little smile on her face. And then she just looked past me.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there. And then I was like, oh, okay. And so I walked away, and I walked over to my friend, and I said, "Did you see that?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then we watched her stand in with a lovely older lady walk over to her, congratulate her, and she did the same thing to her. It's like, wow. Ice Princess, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is it to just say thank you?
Yeah.
No? And she's standing out there, looking approachable. God, what a bitch.
Yeah.
But Lily, I said I had a story about a lot of those people. Lily Tomlin used to come and see our show at the Groundlings.
Mm-hmm.
Loved us. And I actually made friends with her brother, Richard. They used to have an act together, Lily and Richard. And Richard is really great. And so they used to come and see our show. And then when she did a special, she hired a bunch of Groundlings to be on her special and kind of got them their start and got them in the union in SAG or AFTRA or whatever one it was at the time. Mm-hmm. And and she was always great. And then I worked on the Incredible Shrinking Woman, and did a little scene with her in the grocery store.
Oh wow!
Little insider joke. I was wearing the T-shirt from Carrie, the gym shirt, the gold gym shirt with the little bee on it.
Yeah.
High school singers, and I wore that in the movie The Incredible Shrinking Woman because I was supposed to be a jogger in the grocery store. So I had shorts on and I wore that T-shirt, which I swiped from the wardrobe department.
Wow, good.
Where's that shirt today? Wish I knew.
Yeah, Joel Schumacher directed that. I heard John Landis was the original director, but then he did the Blues Brothers. He quit.
Oh, I worked on the Blues Brothers too. I was standing in for a little girl. I wasn't on camera. Oh, but I was in the country music scene too, where they get bottles thrown at them when they're behind the chicken wire. I was out in that scene too. But there was a scene in a restaurant, a fancy restaurant.
Yep.
Where
classic scene.
He's teasing a little girl.
Yeah, that's Elizabeth Hoy.
Yeah, huh? Elizabeth Hoy?
Yeah.
You know who she is?
Oh, she's the killer in Bloody Birthday.
Oh my God. Well, listen to this. So I'm working on Newhart as a stand-in, and doing on the road and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the guys I was talking to, one of the stand-ins, Bruce Hoy, and he, we got on the subject, and come to find out, what? I stood in for your daughter before I even knew you. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. And he said after a while she wasn't really that interested in show business anymore.
Yeah.
Her parents, they were dancers, like I said, they worked all the time. And her mother was one of these, glamour girls, leggy Vegas showgirl types.
Yeah.
Larry Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of featured in Guys and Dolls and a few other things. She was gorgeous. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a year later. Yeah, she's the little girl killer in this B horror movie, and I actually interviewed the adult star of the movie, Lori Lethan. I interviewed her last year, and she was a very sweet lady, and I made her laugh a lot. I remember.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God, that's great. And then Bruce, he was in everything, right? He was one of the chimney sweeps in Mary Poppins, and he worked a lot, in all the Disney movies and everything. And then come to find out, he was dancing in the streets at the premiere of The Happiest Millionaire, the only Disney movie that flops big time. And that was my first job ever. I was 16 years old and working at the Pantages Theater at this big movie premiere. And he was outside some of the entertainment, right before all the stars are walking in. Mm-hmm. They had all these dancers, in the street and everything. As premieres used to be like big shows, on the street and with all the fans and the paparazzi and everything. They're not that as big like they used to be, movie premieres. But anyway, so it was like really great to, work with him all these years later and find out all the stuff that he'd been in. And they, like I said, they worked on all the Elvis movies, and he was just, they were working all the time. And all those variety shows that were on TV, those dancers, they made a good living. They worked all the time.
Yeah, my mom was almost a dancer on the Dean Martin show. When she graduated from high school, she got a scholarship for dancing to UCLA, and it also included an audition for the Dean Martin show, but my grandmother wouldn't allow that, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a shame. Yeah, I knew a couple of those gals, too, the Dean Martin Gold Diggers. And when I first moved to California, I think I was 13 or 14, and some friends of ours got us some tickets to go see the Dean Martin show, the taping of the Dean Martin show. Oh, my God, that was so exciting. I'll never forget it. Mm-hmm. It was, my first time, walking on this movie lot, movie studio lot, and going to see that show. Yeah, I still remember that. That was so cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, I think I just hope that the movie system can be saved. But I do think that the old like music system has become kind of antiquated. It's kind of a dying art form, in terms of records, of course.
Oh, the music business doesn't exist anymore. I mean, as we knew it. I mean, I just watched The Wrecking Crew. Did you ever see that documentary?
I seen the trailer last couple of years. It looks really, really interesting.
It was just on PBS. You might be able to, download it or something, because they were using it for one of their fundraisers. Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you this. I went to see that movie. It was a matinee, but I went to see that movie, in the middle of L.A., a new movie out. Mm-hmm. I was the only person in the theater. I had a private screening of The Wrecking Crew. Me, myself, and I. I couldn't believe it. That's only happened to me one other time, and it was for the movie I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I was with a friend. We were the only two people in the movie theater, and we had worked on the movie too, so we wanted to go see it. Yeah. And which was a really, really, really cute movie.
Yeah.
About the Beatles and Beatlemania and Tina Nancy Allen was in it. And,
yeah, I love that movie.
Eddie Deason. Oh, yeah. It was really fun. Yeah. Me and my friend were the only people in the movie theater. So, yeah, I go see The Wrecking Crew, and I'm the only one in the theater. And it's like, this is so fantastic. Oh, my God. Of course, I'm older, so this is all the music I grew up with, right? You know, 60s and 70s. Oh, well, it started in the 50s. So it spanned three decades. And these people, you know, that played on all these famous records. And it's because they were so good, you know, and they were fast. And they were talented, and they could come up with things, and you know, they were working on several sessions a day, and working all the time, and they made a ton of money. And then about the 70s, and all these, you know, with James Taylor and all these singer-songwriters and bands who actually were musicians, real musicians, it kind of, and they were getting older, and the phone wasn't ringing quite as much, you know, and, you know, all the big arena rock bands, you know, so the music business changed again. But, the music business, you know, is dead. It's gone as we know it. I mean, now they just, and how everything's so formulaic, and I read this article about why music isn't as good as it used to be. And, it's part of the reason why. It's just like they're all just trying to copy something that was a hit before, and everything kind of sounds the same, and there's no artistry anymore.
Well, it's always been like that, though. I mean, everybody's always tried to sound the same and copy everybody, you know?
But you still had the artists, you know, who really worked on their careers, and you know, you saw them come up. You know, it's like some of these newer people, you know, I've never heard of them, and all of a sudden they've got 5 Grammys, and it's like, what? You know, who are they? Where did they come from?
Yeah.
And it's all, you know, very formulaic, overproduced. It's all different. I don't know. It's like there's so much talent out there, and, you know, if you go around the clubs and see bands play and everything, and these people, they're never going to get a record deal.
Yeah.
You know, they all have to put out their own records and try to, you know, sell things, you know, and what's a CD? You know, it's like people are, nobody has CD players. It's like everything's just, you download music, you know, you don't have a physical thing anymore, you know, like a record or a CD. It's just, you just download the music. I saw this band the other day that a friend of mine was trying to promote. They're from Denmark. They're called Tremolo Beer Gut. They were a surf punk band from Denmark. I was like, oh my God. They were so good and so much fun. And they kind of remind me of the Ramones in a way.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like working really hard and really good, and short songs, you know, and they get in and just thrash away and then get out, you know, and the song's over. But, you know, they're touring around right now. You know, they're playing a couple clubs in LA, but and they're really wonderful. But, you know, they're never going to get a record deal. You know, because look what's in the top 40 now, or what kids are listening to. It's like all these girls with one name.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm old. Get off my lawn.
There was a joke George Carlin did where he's talking about he's sick of singers with one name, you know. Oh my God, it was so great. He's like people who think that they're so special they have to have one name. Bono, Sting, Prince. Oh, hey, I got a name for you. Pretentious cocksucker.
Oh, God. Oh, the world needs George Carlin, I'll tell you.
Yeah. I did a radio show, and I got to talk to his brother, and that was awesome.
Wow, really?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Oh, incredible. Yeah, I always loved him. He was so intelligent. I mean, just so intelligent. And, his take on things is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have those kinds of minds really anymore. It's like kind of
Yeah, being a stand-up comedian for the past 12 years, I can tell you stand-up comedy is a dying art form. I have not seen. I've seen some great comedians. Don't get me wrong. That haven't been discovered yet, but they are not groundbreaking or earth-shaking. And I certainly haven't seen it. Out there. On TV or anything. It's to me, stand-up is a dying art form.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think it's also one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
You don't have a band, you don't have fellow actors. It's just you, and so yeah, it's those who are really good at it. Of course, they make it look easy, but also it's all gone in the toilet now. It's like it's all cheap laughs and it's all filth, and it's not like I'm a prude or anything. Believe me, I've heard everything twice, but it's just. That's not talent. It's easy. It's an easy laugh. And I was talking about it with a friend of mine, and how it's just everybody's working blue now. And you used to have these comics who, Jerry Seinfeld never had to do dick and poop jokes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld was funny. And my friend said, well, that's because there's no common denominator anymore. There's no cultural reference. It's like nobody knows anything anymore. It's like younger people. They think the world started, when they were born. It's like you can't refer anything anymore. It's like she was teaching. Someone just told this story. She's passed on. She's been gone 2 years now. She was a great teacher. She was in the Groundlings. She taught Lisa Kudrow. She taught Conan O'Brien.
Oh, you talk about Cynthia Zaghitti?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and look for Alex Stein, Sit Shadow Sit, and he did a little storytelling thing about her. And so he told the story how she referenced. She was giving a girl some notes, in a scene, an improv scene, and she goes, and if you had said Adam and Eve in this scene, she said that you would have got a huge laugh. And she said, well, I don't know who they are. So that's just, that was Cynthia who said that. The bottom line, it's just a common denominator now that at least everybody knows what you're talking about. You can't do intelligent humor like George Carlin. Nobody knows what you're talking about anymore. So it's really kind of weird, but that we're in the information age. Nobody knows anything. A friend of mine was sharing a lift with some young people, and they go by where Jim Morrison of the Doors, used to live, here in LA, and he told them that, and they go, "Who's Jim Morrison?" He goes, "Oh my God, help! Let me jump out of here right now! Oh my God!" Yeah. Yes. How do you know Cynthia? Oh, Cynthia.
Oh, I've seen her in lots of things. She's a very funny lady.
Well, she passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago now. I can't even believe it. And I was with her a lot, in those final years. I mean, she was given 6 months to live, and she lasted 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it's just, by sheer will, she just
yeah.
kept on living. She got kicked out of hospice twice. Anyway, if you go on YouTube and look for Alex Stein, Sit, Shadow, Sit, he talks all about her. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I got it right in front. I got it right in front of me. I'll watch it in a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
oh my God. Yeah. I just can't believe it. The people that obscure people that you know who they are. That I'm.
Oh, Terry, you drop any name, I will surprise you.
Oh my God.
I will surprise you.
That's so funny. Well, I have this Facebook friend, and he's a real cinephile too. And he'll mention things, or he'll post something, and almost everything he posts, it's like I have a story about it. It's like oh my God, here we go again. So yeah, that's so funny. So you kind of remind me of oh well, I have a story about that. Oh God.
Oh, here's something I'll tell you. It's funny. I was watching National Lampoon's European Vacation, and at the beginning of the movie, they're in this game show called Pig in a Poke, And Cynthia Zaghetti, she's the wife of the other family that they're up against in the movie, and she doesn't really have a line. She's just there, really. But I was just like, wow, you know. And then when they're on the airplane, the stewardess is Groundling alumni Wendy Goldman.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God, Wendy. Cynthia. Oh, also her. She did a couple of Groundling. Well, I see so many people I know on Seinfeld, and I did some background stuff on it because one of my closest friends was Jerry Seinfeld's stand-in, and at the same time, I was Roseanne's stand-in. We were working on the same lot, so we would get people back. We would get each other background work on each other's shows. It's like, can you believe it? We're both stand-ins for big stars on top 10 TV shows, working on the same lot together. Mm-hmm. And so Cynthia's Seinfeld was the library where Jerry, he's got an overdue library book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
About someone from his past.
Yeah.
So he looks her up and it's Cynthia. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a classic one. I have every episode on DVD.
Oh my God, that was one of my sister's favorite shows too. And I've been watching them in reruns, and every once in a while, well, it's like there's so many iconic, it's like, oh my God, famous things that happen in the same show.
Yeah.
Like I just watched the Junior Mint one.
Oh, I love that one.
And that was also the one where he couldn't remember his date's name.
Yeah.
So there's all these great things that you think each one is a separate episode. No, there were a couple of these in the same show. You know, like and Elaine with her nipple showing was in a show that had something else that was like really, you know, big and famous that everyone talks about. You know, so it's like, so now that I'm watching the reruns, I'm realizing, oh my God, both of these things were in one show. You know, yeah. Oh my God, that's so much fun.
I love in the Soup Nazi episode, John Paragon and this other guy are these two flamboyantly gay robbers, and they steal Elaine's dresser that Kramer is watching outside, you know, and he says to her, "I was robbed by street toughs," and she's like, "Street toughs?" And he's like, "Yeah, they were frightening." Yeah, they're flamboyantly gay, and he says they were frightening. Love that.
Oh, and Kramer, I mean, oh my God, Michael Richards is so hilarious.
Yeah.
Too bad what happened to him. Oh my God.
Well, I've actually heard some insight into that incident. Yeah, apparently that guy that he called the N-word, he was giving them shit earlier in the night at the bar, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so...
Well, yeah, that makes more sense. I mean, not that it's justified, and, you know, it's kind of terrible that he did that.
No. You know
an audience.
Plus, I heard he had been doing stuff like that for years. It's just the only difference is now there's cameras. You know, there's phone cameras and people can record it now. But he was doing that like back in the late 70s at the Comedy Store and stuff.
Oh my God. Oh, in the Comedy Store. I mean, now that Missy Shore died, who knows what's going to happen to that? And they've just been tearing stuff down and building big hotels, all up and down the Sunset Strip. So it's like, that's, you know, it's over. The Sunset Strip is over. And, you know, when the whiskey goes, you know, that's it. And the Rainbow. But, I'm a little worried about the Comedy Store.
I'm not, because I know the place is making more money now than it's ever been.
Well, that's good to hear. You know, because it's really horrible what's going on in this town. It's just building like crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It's like a boom. But then I hear people say that it's happening really in a lot of big cities.
Yeah.
There's a lot of foreign money, and they're just putting up all these big hotels and big apartment buildings everywhere.
Oh, in the Bay Area, it's really bad. Every time I'm down there, there's construction somewhere, and they're closing down like all my favorite businesses that I grew up going to and favorite restaurants. Oh, I am just fucking mad about it.
Oh, I know. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Did you grow up in the Bay Area?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. See, and all these places that I've known, my whole life. I mean, I'm not against. Time marches on. I know that, and a lot of things have gotten torn down, but it just seems to be happening just so quickly now. And it's like, why do you have to target places that mean something to people? There's plenty of ugly old buildings in this town that no one will care if they get torn down, right? But when it's historically or culturally or architecturally significant, people are going to get upset.
Yeah.
I feel like we're being, invaded or something.
Yeah.
Weird.
Definitely. But I do feel though that the Comedy Store, the Rainbow, the Whiskey, the Roxy. I really do think that because they are so historic, they're going to be around a lot longer. I think.
I hope so. And people do enjoy going out and hearing comedy and stuff like that. So I think you're right. I think maybe that one will hang on. But all around it are going to be big hotels.
Yeah. Oh my God. Going back to music, I heard. Oh my God. I heard Steven Tyler tell this dark secret while he was on Joe Rogan's podcast about why a lot of record companies back in the day encouraged a lot of rock bands to continue doing drugs and not stop. It was because they wanted them fucked up when they signed the contract for the publishing rights, so they wouldn't have to pay them.
The music business. Oh my God. Those are companies. They'll think of every which way, how to screw somebody over and
Yeah.
Take their money. I know, it's terrible. Oh.
Yeah, I've heard probably the worst stories about getting residuals from the music business more than the movie business. I mean, the movie business, of course, is like that way too, but the music is the worst, because they get 10 cents a copy when album sells.
Yeah, it's horrible. And it's true. And I remember Cynthia Spaghetti a long time ago talking about residuals and just regular pay. She goes, I think I used to make more money. It's like I don't know, what's going on here, but I used to make more money, and they don't want to pay any overtime, and a lot of times they'll let actors on the 3-camera shows. They'd let actors go before the curtain call if their scenes were done, so they wouldn't have to pay them overtime. And then they tell you can hang around and take your curtain call if you feel like it, but you're off the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, wow, who sits around and figures out all this stuff? How to screw actors out of their money.
I know, it's sad.
Oh God, yeah.
It's sad. But
worse.
Yeah. But I'll tell you though, I do work blue when I do stand up, but I try to make the audience think. I'm a one-liner comic, and I try to make them think, and stuff. I think you would probably enjoy it.
Oh, good. Well, do you have anything on YouTube or?
Oh, there's plenty of videos of me on YouTube doing stand-up.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll look up something. But, do you remember Mitch Hedberg?
I love Mitch Hedberg, yeah.
Oh, my God. Too bad about him. But, oh, my God, he was so funny. His twist on things. And kind of in that same vein is Emo Phillips.
I love Emo, yeah. I got pictures of me and him on Facebook.
Oh, I love Emo. And, where's he been?
He's in L.A. Performing wherever he can. But he comes down to the Bay Area at least once a year. And when I was down there just before I moved last year, I got to go see him, and it was great. Oh my God, he did a great show. He did one of his old bits from the '80s at the end after someone yelled it out, and I met him afterwards, and I just told him, I watched his HBO special when I was 3 years old when it first premiered. I remember it so well,
How could you forget him, right?
Yeah.
I just adore him. And I ran into him once in a restaurant, and I said, oh my God, I love you.
Yeah, I told him, I said, at that time, my dad was watching a lot of Sam Kinison, and I watched Sam Kinison too, but, I told, his material was a lot more family friendly than Sam's, and he was like, I knew Sam very well.
Do you think the really filthy comedy kind of got started with Andrew Dice Clay? It seemed to me that that shock of just really filthy comedy. It seems to me it's kind of started with him. He was one of the first ones, I think.
Yeah, with swearing in general, it started with Red Fox, in the 50s. And then, Lenny Bruce carried it and Carlin and Pryor. But Andrew Dice Clay was the first really filthy comic that made it into a huge landscape. And he's actually one of my biggest heroes. I remember the first time I saw him, right? My dad and my dad and my uncle, we went to my dad's friend's house and to borrow a couple of VHS tapes. One of Sam Kinison and one of Andrew Dice Clay on Rodney Dangerfield's special. And I could watch the Sam Kinison one because I had seen it already. I was like 6 years old. I'd seen it since I was like 3 or 4 up to that point, so that was fine. But then I had to go into my room when Dice was on, right? So they're watching him, and I'm looking through the peephole, and I have never seen a guy more cool in comedy ever. And I don't hear what he's saying, but I just see through the peephole, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to do what he's doing. I mean, he's just amazing, and this was right at the peak. This is when he sold out Madison Square Garden, around that time. And then 2 years later, my dad finally let me watch him, and we watched him together. And, I didn't understand a single word of what he was talking about, but I heard all the dirty words and everything, and I just loved it.
Did he have to explain a lot of stuff to you? Oh, my God.
No, he didn't explain nothing to me. He just let me watch it.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very talented guy. Just in general, he does really good impressions of celebrities and stuff.
Oh, really?
Oh, he does Al Pacino and John Travolta and Stallone. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, definitely he started the really filthy comedy. I mean, I'm dirty, but I'm not overly filthy like he is,
Well, and then the women too, like Lisa Lampanelli, oh my God, and then Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
I mean, those two, they were very, very funny and very filthy. And so, that's very unladylike, and so they're really groundbreaking. But yeah, but I admire their talent. But I do appreciate a comic who can make me laugh without being filthy. Like I said, I've heard everything twice, but yeah, I really do like the more intelligent or the twist on things, like we were talking about with Mitch Hedberg. And,
yeah. I tried to give the audience. I tried to give the audience a little bit of everything, and that's something I learned from watching Jay Leno. He gives everybody in the audience a little bit of everything, and he does a joke, for a man, a joke for a woman, a joke for a liberal, a conservative, a gay, straight. He does everything, and that's what I try to do,
Who was it? Was the equal opportunity offender? Who was it?
Oh, there's many of those. Which one?
I forget who that was said about. He's an equal opportunity offender.
I don't know.
Or maybe, a lot of them are. So how often do you do stand-up?
Since
Are you working every weekend, or?
I was until I moved over here. There's no comedy clubs over here, mostly in Sacramento, but I don't get out to Sacramento because it's 3 hours away or 2 hours away or something. Whenever I'm in the Bay Area now, which I'm going next couple of weeks, I'll be in the Bay Area. I'm gonna go do comedy out there. But like doing this podcast is like my means of being funny for right now.
Oh, who's that guy? He does the Bay Hilaria show. What's his name? You must know him. I can't. I'm blanking on his name right now. But I went to comedy traffic school, and he was my teacher.
Oh,
and then,
I know Rocky Cologne.
No.
Right?
But he does this show where he has a group of comics, and it's called Bay Hilaria. Because he's from the Bay Area, and they're all Bay Area comics.
Yeah, Rocky Cologne is the only one I know who does that.
Oh, but the guy who runs it, I'm sorry, I'm just blanking on his name, but, yeah, so you must know, all of those guys, because there's a lot of comics in the Bay Area. Well, you should start doing comedy, get some people together and do a comedy show, where you are, get it going up there.
Reading is a very conservative and very judgmental community,
Oh.
And, I got 6 more months here until my mom retires, and then LA will be in our lives after that.
Uh-huh.
And I plan to go out there and do my best to make some waves fast before I'm 40.
Well, there's plenty of places, there's so many clubs out here, too. And there's some good ones in the Valley, in Burbank. There's, I forget which one's in Burbank that is pretty good. And, there's always somewhere to perform out here, definitely.
Yeah, I tried to get stage time out there 2 years ago when I went out there, not doing the research without even knowing. I thought it was the same system that we had in the Bay Area, but it wasn't. But I did get stage time at the Ice House in Pasadena.
Oh, God, the Ice House. Oh, my God. I used to go see groups play there, like, in the folky days. I mean, it used to be like a folk club.
Yeah, it's like the longest running comedy club, but it started out just music.
Yeah, right. The Ice House. Oh, God, who did I see there recently? Well, a friend of mine, I think he's retired now, is Steve Boostein.
That name sounds familiar. That sounds familiar.
I've written a couple books now, which are just hilarious. One is It's So Hard to Type with a Gun in My Mouth, and the other one is Memoirs of a Nobody. He has to play the Ice House.
Oh, that's funny.
So now he's more writing. He doesn't like to do stand-up that much anymore, but he's so funny. And he would play off the audience a lot. He had his jokes, but he also just played off the audience to a hilarious effect because he was just so quick. And he was an early groundling as well, too.
Yeah, when I went up at the Ice House, I totally ate shit. But there was this one moment I was really proud of. I did this joke. I had a brace on my leg at that time because of my car accident that I had the year before, and I did this stupid joke. I didn't really do it much after it, where I was like, I was making a reference to that Christy McNichol movie, Just the Way You Are, where she's got a leg brace on, and I said that, I get mistaken for Christy McNichol and Just the Way You Are, wearing this leg brace. There was this Mexican girl. She had to have been at least 40. She got the joke and she laughed, and I was very proud of that.
I love that story. It's like you made one person laugh, and he felt good about it. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, when someone really gets it. I know. Another really great comedian I saw there at the Ice House was Tom Papa.
Oh, yeah, he's good.
He's so funny. I went and saw him a couple of times. And I also worked on his show. What was it called? He had a short-lived series. And believe it or not, Steve Carell
Yep.
was on his show. And, what is it? Was it Come to Pop? No. Tom Papa.
I think Come to Papa is
Anyway.
his podcast.
What?
I think Come to Papa is his podcast.
Yeah, but he had a show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to be like a regular background person on it. And it was sort of like The Office. It was, in an office. And Tom Papa, it was his show. And Steve Carell was a co-star. And then later Steve Carell goes on to, The Office.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that's really weird because I remember working with him before he was really famous on Tom Papa's show. But he's really funny too, Tom Papa. I really like him.
Yeah, he's funny. Steve Carell was also the writer on Dana Carvey's short-lived sketch comedy show on ABC. Him and, let's see, who else was it? Elon Gold, Stephen Colbert, and Louis C.K. were all writers on that show.
Wow. Wow, what a roster.
Yeah, and I remember... Oh, God, I can remember shit that they did on that show. I remember somebody was singing this song. It was so inappropriate. Rapo molesty, he loves his men hairless from head to toe, 'cause it's two to a sleeping bag. I can't believe they got away with that on ABC.
Wow.
Yeah. They need to...
And too bad about Louis C.K. too. I mean, I loved his show. I watched his first one. I thought he was so funny. And again, his humor, a lot of it came, from an unexpected place. Oh, my cat's playing. Okay. But yeah, that's too bad about him.
This is going to be a controversial statement. I never considered him a great stand-up comedian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just never considered him likable. His jokes are funny, but he's not funny in my opinion.
Mm.
I don't know. He just doesn't have a great stage presence, and he's just not likable in my opinion. But he definitely is a good writer. He's proven it. I mean, he's had all these writing jobs. He wrote for Conan, and stuff. But just I don't know. I just never considered him that great. And when I heard about this, the scandal and everything, I just thought it was the most bizarre thing ever, and there was some...
Yeah, I mean, what a creep, that's creepy.
Yeah. There were some women who came forward, like female comics who came forward and said that they didn't mind him doing that because they know that he's a good guy with a few quirks. But my only question is, if he is a good guy, why didn't he offer them popcorn? I mean, he is a performer. You got to have concessions,
That's a funny visual. Oh my God.
Hey, he can add more butter.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, it's really weird, and I mean, I've been told off the air by certain comedians, which comedians are creeps. I'll tell you, there's a lot of them.
Oh, there's a lot of them. You said?
Yeah, not just like in terms of sex, but just being a mean asshole, in general.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's really profound.
He isn't pretty.
What?
Comedy isn't pretty.
Yeah, that Steve Martin album where he's in drag. Right. Yeah. Oh God, that's an ugly visual.
Steve Martin. Of course, everybody now knows that he's an excellent banjo player. But I remember seeing him in little clubs, folk clubs, when I was a kid, because my uncle was a folk singer, and they used to play in the same clubs. And so I met him when I was, just a teenager. Mm-hmm. And he actually came to parties at our house. because he was a friend of my uncle's.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an old stand-up guy. You probably know these two guys too that used to play with my uncle in these folk clubs. Gary Muldeer.
Yeah.
And Denny Johnston.
Oh yeah, both those guys are legends.
Well, I've known them most of my life, both of them. And Gary Muldeer, he said that every once in a while Steve will call him, and he loves to talk about the old days.
Yeah.
And how much fun it was, and how much fun he had, and how great it was. And here now he's this big, famous, mega rich guy, and he wants to talk about, the salad days, back in the folk clubs, and how much fun they all had, and isn't that something?
Yeah, I do know that they were roommates.
Yeah, and Gary, he still works with Johnny Mathis.
Yeah.
Johnny Mathis is still going out touring, and Gary Mulder opens for him. And Denny Johnston, I think he's still touring too. I don't know if he's opening for anyone or where he's working, but yeah, both of them, they're still at it. They're in their 70s.
Yeah, that was back.
It's so funny.
Yeah. That was back when they did musical comedy acts at the Comedy Store in those days. Denny Johnston, he was on the HBO Young Comedian special that Chevy Chase hosted at the Comedy Store.
Oh, well. Yeah, we go way back, I swear. I remember watching them when I was just a young teen.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there were so many great comics at that time and stuff. So many of them that just faded into obscurity, like those guys sadly did. I mean, Gary Muldeer. I mean, he hosted the Midnight Special. Did you watch the Midnight Special?
I used to, yeah, but I don't really remember that he hosted it, but I remember that I did watch it in the day. But he's still working. He's still making a living. He's still out there. It's like he's got that famous shot in Annie Hall where he's sitting behind them in a health food restaurant. He's got a big afro, and somebody posted the picture, and it's like, oh yeah, Gary Muldeer, failed comic, and I'm like, Gary Muldeer is not a failed comic. He is, just because somebody isn't, Steve Martin, isn't, mega wealthy, it doesn't mean that they failed. He's been making a living as a comic his whole life, since he's in his 70s. I wouldn't call that a failed comic. I don't know. I just, because I know him, I took offense to that.
I would too, yeah. There was another guy in their generation he was a singing cowboy. His name was James Lee Reeves. Did you know him?
Know him? No.
Oh, okay. At the Comedy Store with all the headshots on the wall, there's a picture. Yeah. There's a picture of him standing next to a horse's ass. And everybody remarks about that picture to this day, and I think it might be on the internet. I think so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was laughing my ass off the first time I was there and I saw it.
Yeah, I do hope the Comedy Store can survive.
I think it will. And I actually heard that they're working on getting Mitzi her star on the Walk of Fame.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so great. Yeah, she really got so many people their big break. I mean, from Roseanne, to Steve Bluestein, my friend Steve, I talked about. He owes a lot to her. Yeah, so many comics. Just, if it wasn't for Mitzi, really. She championed so many people, so much talent.
I know. Oh my God, I don't know how she did it, but it was just amazing what she did. And it's funny, too. She turned down a lot of comics like Louis C.K. and Jerry Seinfeld.
Really?
Yeah, well, actually, Seinfeld, she passed him for like a minute, and then after one showcase, she got rid of him.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, she said that he had a bad attitude or something. Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never heard anything negative about him really. He just always seemed like just such a nice guy. One of the nice guys.
yeah, he's a nice guy and stuff. But he can be exactly what you would imagine through his material of being just constantly irritated about how stupid people are.
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard that, but yeah, as far as that, I heard he's a good guy. And he's kind of shy when he's not performing too, from what I heard.
Yeah, Robin Williams was like that too.
Yeah.
Interesting side note. It's like I met Robin way back many years ago before he was famous, and Cynthia Spaghetti was in the Comedy Store Players with him, and they both died on the same date, August 10th.
Oh my God.
I know, it was really bizarre. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, God, that place has so much history. It's amazing, And you go in there. I mean, a lot of the headshots are pretty spooky. I'll tell you, because you see these famous comedians when they were young, but then you see all these guys that you never heard of, and you think, what happened to them? Who's alive, who's not? It's really scary.
Oh, right. I don't know if you ever knew John Bates.
No.
He was in the Comedy Store Players too, with Cynthia and Robin and Taylor Negron and so many incredible people. Yeah, he just passed away too.
I didn't know Taylor. I didn't know that Taylor Negron was part of that group.
Yeah.
Wow.
Comedy Store Players.
I did not know that. I knew he was a stand-up, but I didn't know he did improv too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked when he passed away too.
I know.
I remember he died right after Robin. It was in 2014. That was a weird year for deaths. I remember Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, died that year. It was a weird year for deaths.
Yeah, and Valerie, what was Robin's first wife's name? They met up in San Francisco, and when I took Cynthia to Taylor Negron's funeral, he had several memorial services, but this one was the family one down in Palm Springs, and Valerie was there, and Robin died first, right? And then Taylor?
I believe so, yeah.
I think so. And I just looked at her and I said, Valerie, because her and Taylor were like best friends. And then she was married to Robin. I just can't believe, what you're going through. She goes, I'm just kind of numb. She said, it's just hard to take it all in. I just feel really numb right now.
Yeah. Did you see the documentary?
No, not yet.
I saw it.
Another documentary. I know. Oh my God. Yeah.
It was pretty good. I was expecting a little bit more, but my mom and I we were entertained and we were sad the entire time. But yeah.
I'll just never forget the first time I ever saw him. It's just it was in a workshop class, and it's who is that? And everyone knew that Robin was going to be a big star. Everyone knew it. It's he couldn't not be. I mean, he would do 3 shows a night in 3 different places. And one time when we were kind of hanging out for a while, and he came over and he goes, and so we were chatting, and he goes, well, I got to go. I said, well, what are you doing? He goes, I got to go do a show. I said, you just did one. He goes, well, I got to go do another one. I said, I have to. I go, oh, okay. So he would do the Improv, the Comedy Store, and I don't know, somewhere else, the Laugh Factory. I don't know. He would do 3 shows, 3 different places in one night.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
It was just a force.
Yeah, that's what they talked about in the documentary. I don't know if I told you this last time, but like when I had my car accident 3 years ago, I was in a coma for 30 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and when I woke up, my mom told me that I told her I was in comedy heaven with Robin and Lucille Ball and
Oh my God.
Joan Rivers and everything. Yeah.
Did you ever hear Taylor talk about Lucille Ball?
No.
Oh, he took a comedy class with her. I don't know if that's on YouTube, but look up Taylor Negro in California Gothic, and that's one of his stories that he told at the Moth, and I think it's in a book too. And then he talks about Lucille Ball as well.
Ah.
And that's really interesting. Oh God, what a magical person he was.
Yeah, he's the pizza guy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, so hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious, yeah. You're that guy. Yeah, you're that guy. He goes, yeah, I'm fame-ish.
Famous, yeah.
That guy. Yeah, he used to say he was fame-ish.
And then we just lost Charlotte Rae.
Yeah, she looked like a sweet lady.
Yeah. She I mean, she's a legend, going back to the 50s. I mean, it was just amazing what a career she had.
Yeah, I really didn't know of her, until she got famous on TV, and, so many people grew up watching her, and, is such a sweet lady, and, she just had that cute face, and, you just wanted to run up and give her a big hug.
Yeah.
That's that thing about her, You wanted her to be your favorite auntie.
Yeah. I watched Artifacts of Life. I watched her in this TV movie I used to see every Halloween on HBO when I was a kid called The Worst Witch, where she played the principal of this witch academy, and she played her evil twin sister who was a witch in it, and she was just so great playing both roles.
Oh my God, that sounds great! How hilarious!
It's on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really entertaining. It still holds up. Tim Curry's in it.
Oh man, I worked with him on Roseanne. He was so nice. He was really great. Very personable and chatted with everyone. It's like you hear so many stories of stars who are assholes and whatever. But yeah, he was one of the good ones. Yeah.
I heard he had a stroke. He's not doing too good.
I know, it's so awful. Oh, there's another stand-up, you might know her, Carrie Snow.
I love Carrie, yeah.
She just had a stroke.
Yeah. She had a stroke a couple days after I interviewed her, and I had two emotions going through my head when I found this out. One, please, Carrie, don't do this to me. We just started a new friendship. And two, if I conducted her last interview, I'm honored.
Oh my God! Well, I just had lunch with some friends of Cynthia's. We all used to get together with Cynthia for lunch once a week, and now some of us are still doing it once a month. And at Cantor's in LA, and
Yep.
Diane Nichols.
Yeah.
She's a stand-up too.
Yeah.
She had just talked to Carrie, and they're going to stay up there in Merced, and her family has property there, and she's going to physical therapy every day.
Yeah.
Every day. It's going to be a long, long recovery, but she can talk. I mean, it wasn't as bad. Some strokes are worse than others, but it's a horrible thing. But she's doing all the physical therapy and everything, and making some progress is what Diane had to say. So that was good to hear.
Yeah, I was just so pleased about that, and yeah, it was just bizarre. And and I interviewed her the day before she went to Mitzi's memorial at the Comedy Store.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a weird coincidence. All of this.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, it's just amazing that you know of and know so many people. It's like you're just you're really aficionado of film and comedy, and it's just so great. You're just like a virtual who's who encyclopedic knowledge.
I've got this brilliant Rain Man like knowledge of the stuff, and this is stuff I genuinely love, you know, and I think that's why nobody listens or watches this show, and but I think that one of the reasons why I've been able to do 170 episodes is because everyone just is impressed by me and how they love talking to me about stuff that they forgot about that I remember,
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really fun, reminiscing and talking about all these people, and yeah, it's incredible. I still, can't believe that Cynthia and Elizabeth away.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Oh yeah, there's so many of them.
I had another friend like that. He's passed on too. I miss him dearly because we just used to talk about film all the time, and then he was into books too, and he would read everything, and he would give me books to read, and it's like we always talk about the Academy Awards every year, and he's been gone a long time, and even before he passed, he was talking about the decline of movies, like we were talking about, and he saw it coming, in the 90s. He was like, okay, because he used to go see everything, and then he just stopped, because he was tired of seeing crap.
Yeah.
So he kind of saw that happening, early on, and he had an encyclopedic knowledge of the Academy Awards. He could tell you what was nominated in every major category for every year.
Wow. I gave up caring about the Oscars a long time ago because it seems like every time I watch it now, not only do I agree, not only do I disagree with anybody being nominated, I just hate all the political causes that the speeches are based upon.
Yeah, I mean, I understand people feel passionate about things, but this is not the time or place. I don't feel to make a political statement, and I'm not really so crazy about them all doing that. But then when the Academy expanded the Best Picture category to 10 nominees, I'm like, seriously? 10? I can barely name 5, that deserve Best Picture.
Yeah.
And you're putting 10 up there?
Yeah.
And that's all just for the studios. They kowtow to the studios, so the studio could say, promote it with a Academy Award nominee. That's why they did that.
Yeah. Oh, I think the Oscars are becoming just as corrupt as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just watch it to see the dresses. I like fashion. And who got a facelift? Who had Botox? Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like a social event now. Everybody just gets together for an Oscar party or a viewing or whatever, and just just chats and drinks for through the whole thing. And I don't know. Yeah, then you forget the next day who won.
Yeah, it's started to become just a popularity contest and to make money, and it's so sad, And with the political stuff at the Academy Awards, we can thank Marlon Brando for starting that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, when he had that Indian girl, Sacheen Littlefeather, on when he won for The Godfather. I actually reached out to her for an interview a couple times, never heard back from her, and I actually wanted to talk to her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to find out about her because I had listened to this other podcast interview she did, and she laughed at a lot of dirty jokes during the interview. I was like, I wonder if I could make her laugh, But I never heard back from her. But who knows? But yeah, it definitely started with Brando in the 70s. And do you remember?
Yeah, actually, go on.
Do you remember one year in the early 70s when Dustin Hoffman put down the Academy Awards? Yeah, he like put it down, and then Frank Sinatra went on TV and defended him over it. And it seemed like Dustin Hoffman's career was going to be over after that, and then he ended up winning 2 Academy Awards later.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now Marlon Brando, he actually turned down the Oscar, right?
Yeah,
He came in.
he was
Where is it? Did the Academy have it, or who has it?
I think it was donated to some cause or something, if I'm not mistaken. But
Well, you can't sell them.
you can't sell
To the
them.
Academy. If you don't want your Academy Award, you give it back to them.
Right.
You own it. So you can't sell them.
Right.
But it might be just, donated to be on display somewhere or something like that. But yeah, you can't sell them.
No.
So yeah, I don't know who has it.
Yeah, he was the second one to do that after George C. Scott.
Oh my God, that's right. He turned it down too?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I understand that point.
Well, Brando, he had one in the 50s for On the Waterfront, and he accepted that one. But he had been an advocate for the Indians by the time the Godfather one came, and that's why he turned it down over the racism of Hollywood. George C. Scott, he just didn't believe in the Academy Awards at all, and so that's why he turned it down.
That's right. Now I remember. He didn't like the idea of it being a contest.
Yeah.
He said something like, if you want to give someone an award, that's fine, but don't make it a contest, a horse race.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, so that's what he was against. Yeah. Yeah, putting actors against each other, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, just the way the world is becoming.
Yeah. May you live in interesting times. Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm just sitting back and enjoying the show and just seeing all this crazy shit happen.
Yeah, it's like we're through the looking glass, people. Another line from a movie.
Yeah.
JFK, Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Through the looking glass, people. I love that.
Yeah. I just can't wait until next year when I go out there and stuff. I just have a feeling something good's going to happen for me.
Well, there's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of places to just keep working and making those connections.
Yeah, I mean, comedy is just one of the things I do. I mean, I write and I act a little bit too. I want to get all that done and stuff.
Yeah, good. Well, it's kind of expensive out here. Rents are sky high. It's really kind of difficult. A lot of people are leaving the state. It's like I have several friends who are like, well, a couple of them were in the Bay Area, and they lived in San Francisco, and they had a place that they were renting, and their landlord evicted them because they wanted it for the family, and then they had plans to someday, move to Seattle area, and then they just said, well, I guess someday is now, because they didn't want to look for another expensive San Francisco rental, and then only to move again, in a few more years. So it's just someday is now. Bye-bye, San Francisco. Hello, Seattle. They're happy. They love it. A friend of mine moved to Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
Another friend of mine moved out of California to go back home to West Virginia.
Wow.
Her son's family's property. Yeah, so a lot of people are looking for a better quality of life outside the state because it's so expensive, especially LA and San Francisco.
Well, I heard that there's some areas in LA that have dropped its rent price because they know that a lot of people in San Francisco are leaving and they want them to come to LA. I heard. Yeah, this one
I
friend.
don't know where that is.
I don't know. This one friend of mine told me she actually lives in Santa Cruz, and she's in the movie business, and she was looking for some property out in L.A. because that's where she's originally from, and stuff. And she said that there's some areas out there where the prices have dropped considerably because they know people are leaving the Bay Area because they've gotten so high, you know.
Yeah, I think San Francisco's the worst. Yeah, I moved to Texas. A lot of Californians are moving to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, politically, they don't quite fit in. But hey, it's affordable. Anyway, yeah, Texas and Oregon and Washington too. You know, a lot of Californians.
Yeah, that's where my dad's in Washington.
Yeah, but I'm still here. I'm gonna hang out in my rent-controlled apartment as long as I can.
I hope you stay long enough so, you know, when I get out there, we get to hang out and everything.
Yeah, and you'll be. Well, you've visited here. You've been here.
Yep.
Right. So you performed at the Ice House and all that. So yeah, you might have to live a little further away from where everything really is, but yeah.
Like where we're at, you think?
Well, some friends of mine moved to like Compton.
Oh, no way.
I know. It's the only place they could afford to buy a house. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But it's a big spread out place, so that's why it's kind of surprising to me that it's getting so expensive, like Manhattan or San Francisco, because those are tiny little places, and LA is just so big and spread out. It's like, and they're building all these high rises. It's like Los Angeles is not Manhattan.
Yeah.
It's just weird, but there is kind of like a little island, I guess. Where everyone wants to be, and so that's the areas that are the most expensive, and be around Hollywood, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, and some of those other adjacent areas that the real estate's sky high. But all over the country, rents are really, really high for people based on income. It's like people can barely afford, to rent an apartment on their pay because the wages haven't gone up, with inflation. So everybody's paying more for everything and on the same money they've been making for 20 years.
Yeah.
So that's the income inequality that people are talking about now. That's just so bad. But so it's just harder. It's just harder to live.
I do. If I could turn back time, oh my God, so many things that I did, I wouldn't do, and I wouldn't. If I had known that the world was going to be like this, I mean, I tried to move out to LA like after I graduated high school, but my grandma was sick. I had to take care of her until she passed.
Oh, well, good for you. You're a good person.
Oh, thank you. I try to be.
Yeah, me too. Even though people can piss you off. But yeah, I just try to be kind, do no harm, tread lightly.
You do a great job of it, Terry. You do.
Well, thank you, Tommy. And thanks for doing what you do. And, it's great for the fans. And, I'm sure it's fun for people to listen to these podcasts and hear the stories and all that. So, yeah, it's a good thing that you do. And
oh, yep, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I mean, there are days where I have to succumb to negativity from certain people, and like I get turned down by a lot of people that I want to have on the show and stuff. But I just brush myself up and I get back up and I do it again.
Terry, and you're going to talk to Bridget, and you're really going to enjoy her. She's a lot of fun.
Oh, I had Lynn on back in June.
Lynn, that's right, and Lynn, oh my gosh.
Oh my God, I met her at a convention in Carmichael the week before. That's what I tagged you in because I was wearing your pins.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and oh God, I was so starstruck and nervous, and she told me she didn't see that, and I was like, really? God, I really was. Because, it's Missy Vaughn. I grew up watching every Saturday morning when I was a kid,
Oh, my God, yeah. And, not only that, I mean, it's like, I knew Lynn from the Groundlings, and then, years go by, and I'm watching American Graffiti, and there's Lynn. It's like, I forgot, I didn't realize that she was in that. And, Cindy Williams and her are best friends.
Oh, yeah, I love Cindy.
And they've known each other since high school, I think. And so Cindy said to her, I'm working on this movie, why don't you come up and see if you can get a part? So Lynn, totally paid her own way up there and everything and stayed with Cindy in order to do this part in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really cute. She's the girl with the car, driving everybody around. And it was so fun to see her, because I had forgotten or didn't realize that she was even in it.
Yeah, she had an 8x10 at her table of her in the car giving the finger.
She's so cute and fun. And again, one of the sweetest people.
Oh, God, she is a national treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you are.
And, oh, thanks. And I don't know why, Lynn should have had her own TV show. It's not too late, but still, I don't know. She's just one of those people that just always keeps working. She's always so good.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so funny in Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
Yeah.
The latest movie.
Yeah, the latest one.
Funny in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love them.
Yeah, she was just amazing, and when I interviewed her, it was just we covered so much ground in like an hour, and it was just so magical to me.
Oh my God! I remember when she joined the Groundlings, and I was just in awe of how good she was, and I just thought to myself, well, the stakes just got higher. Now we have Lynn Stewart. Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Terry, thank you so much for taking the time again. This was a lot of fun, and I'd like to do it again soon, if you'd like to.
Okay, Tommy, you keep up the good work, and enjoy all your shows that you do, and I'm sure that you get good feedback from people about it.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Okay, well, take care. Thanks for calling.
My pleasure. You have yourself a great day, and I'll tag you in this as soon as it's uploaded.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Terry Bolo. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Terry. I just love talking to you and talking about show business and stuff. You're very smart and insightful, and I just love having you on and stuff. More to come. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.